Go on, CMD.
Oh, I don't know what's going on with here, Joe.
Well, whole city is gonna come down.
Gonna go back up. You see the
So unfortunate for them.
is off to start.
No, I'm dragging him along a bit.
There's wood dropping.
Yeah, this line.
I didn't even
Do it.
And welcome along to Monza, the season finale for Tier 2 in F1. Wow, we've had Tier 1 already, and we've also had Tier 3's penultimate race this week, which saw Ali taking the championship in that race for Tier 3. Very well done to him, but we look forward to this Tier 2 qualifying session. And this is the last race of the season for these guys out there at the moment. And as you can see, it is wet out there here at Monza. That is the Haas of Hunt being closely followed by Jeansy, I believe that is, because the other driver for McLaren, Fallon, is out of the session already. They have retired already in the session as they head through the De La Roggia chicane and up towards, oh, you can see how wet it is already as Hunt on the outlap. It's almost spinning his car there as yeah, the Haas driver has had a very it's been a very up and down season, I think we can say, as there's the Aston Martin of I believe that is Kowalski there in the Aston Martin. He will be the first one round to set a lap time, I believe, as he makes his way out of the Parabolica. He'll come across the main straight. He'll be flat out from here, and he'll be looking just to put in a decent benchmark for the others to all be chasing. So this is the man they'll all be chasing, and they'll be seeing how he gets on in this first chicane, and the Rettifilio chicane on the lap, and he's through there in third gear, nailed both apexes, and now out towards the Curva Grande, or whatever the Italian name for this is. I don't know, so I might offend a few Italians out there, but we will move on. As he makes his way up towards the red field, it'll be the fastest Sector 1 because he's the only man who's gone through Sector 1. Kowalski makes his way up towards the two Lesmos now, and he'll be eager to get onto the brakes there as he's just trying to squeeze the car through both apexes now, as he'll make his way into the second of the two Lesmo corners. Now to flat out run down towards Ascari. What can Kowalski perform here in this final sector across the Sector 2 to Sector 3 line roughly about now? And it is a purple Sector 2. That's because he's the only man who has gone through Sector 2, and we just wait to see him come through the flat out now of this straight. As he made his way through Ascari, that was a very nice lap through Ascari, as we're seeing yellow flags all the while here. That's probably spinners or drivers slowing down. As into Parabolica comes Kowalski, and he makes his way out and being very careful not to go too wide out there. And he's going to come across the line. I thought he was going to go into the pits there, but he's going to come across the line to put in a 128.615. That is, well, we'll see. That's the benchmark they all be wanting to chase. And there already goes Dickens in the Williams, a new driver here in Tier 2. That's Hutton already putting in the 27s now. He's the first driver to break into the 127s in the Alfa Romeo. That is a very, very nice time from Hutton. However, what can the others do behind, as Robertos has left the session, as they make, as we see for the rest of the drivers coming through there. There's KD through the chicane. He's just putting in a lap to put himself fifth fastest. He has put in a 128.7, as Paulinski puts his Haas third fastest, and Mano goes fourth fastest as well in the Aston Martin, as Davis is out of the race, of the qualifying session, sorry. Davis is out of the qualifying session, so I don't know if he's had a spin or anything like that, but he is out of the session. That is very unfortunate for the man who will be P2 in this championship, and he is confirmed P2 because he's got at least 100, well, about a, it's a big gap of points that will definitely be higher than 25 because they can't close in throughout the rest of the session. And speaking of the championship, the Constructors' Championship is still on with only 2 points separating AlphaTauri and Red Bull, I believe. So just quickly check. I don't want to make myself look like a fool, as I'll just quickly have a look there. And you see there on the timing screen, Fowler's gone second fastest. So he's gone ahead of Dickens and Paulinski. Put himself up there. Already up there as the first drivers who've set their laps will now be heading into the pit lane. As yes, it is a 2-point gap. I've just checked, it is a 2-point gap between Red Bull and AlphaTauri at the top of the table. However, with a wet weekend here at Monza, anything can happen in this race, and usually it will happen. As we watch the qualifying session continue, there's Will Harwood making his way down towards Ascari chicane now. The fast chicane, however, not on this occasion, because it is, one, a cool-down lap, and two, it is wet. So they're not going to be putting in their best performances they can. We've only got... as we've only got 10 drivers who put in laps, as Surface being that last driver with a, I forgot now. Harwood being the last driver to put in a time. He's put in a 1:31.5, and it's still Hutton who leads the way here. There are the fastest sectors, so Hutton leading the first, leading this last two sectors, and Dickens in the first sector putting in a 1:28.0. As Martin starts his lap, a man who has proved that he only needs one lap several times in his career. As he makes his way into the first chicane, he'll just want to play it nice and cautious, riding on board with the AlphaTauri driver. He'll be desperate, put in a good performance for his team and try and get P1 for them in the Constructors' Championship. That's a good sign of friendship within the team as they make their way, as he makes his way up towards the Della Roggia chicane. He nails his way through. Jack goes third fastest with a 1:27, and that's not going to help him at all as he gets a wheel onto the grass and almost spins up as he makes his way through, and he almost spins again in the Lesmos, and he's proving it to be very tricky out there because one moment he gets offline and you can see he's fighting the car all the time through the two Lesmos there down towards the Scari. He's still put in the fastest sector one, but what is he going to do in sector 2? It's only green and he's a second down. That would have lost him so much time there. As once again the car snaps and into the wall goes Martin. He's out of the session, and that is disaster for AlphaTauri. Not what they would have wanted to see. Both cars out of qualifying. And that is a massive blow to their championship hopes. They will both be starting from the back come the race timers. Harwood's put in a lap time to go P3, so AlphaTauri equivalent in way another Italian team with Alfa Romeo are having one of their best days so far with their cars 1 and 3 at the moment, with 12 cars setting their laps as Fowler goes first fastest. He goes fastest and onto provisional pole. That is a mighty lap from him, a 1:27.3. That is a great lap from Fowler to put him up there. And I just wonder, are there any other drivers out there at the moment putting in fast laps? Jack is about to come across the line. What can he do in the Red Bull? He can't improve. He came across the line and he doesn't improve his time. Smithy, though, in the other Red Bull goes 5th fastest. So it's a Red Bull 5-4 at the moment. That is very good for them at the moment. That's great for their championship hopes and their Constructors' Championship hopes. In case you're wondering, because Jack was crowned champion last time out in Australia. There's KD in the Mercedes now as he makes his way up towards Parabolica now. That's the pit lane there, and those are the mechanics squabbling around there, trying to get their cars ready for qualifying, or their next runs in qualifying. There's KD through the Parabolica, now onto the main straight. What can KD do in the Mercedes? And he doesn't improve his time. He only stays 11th fastest, and that will frustrate him. He's just outside that top 10 finishing positions, or top 10 positions, I should say. As ahead of him are two other cars. That's his teammate, Luigi Sven, who's ahead of him, and also I believe an Alfa Romeo as well. Yep, that's Harwood, who's just ahead of KD there on track as KD. Setting his lap now up towards the Della Roggia chicane, and through he goes. I hadn't realised that he was setting a lap. I thought he already done that, but no, he is on his lap now as he makes his way through turn 5 as Jack goes fastest in the Red Bull. As KD is making his way through the two Lesmo corners now. He's just trying to get through there, and he's done that better than Martin, I'd say, because he didn't have any oversteers there. The AlphaTauri gets out of his way. And down towards the Ascari chicane goes KD in the Mercedes. He is half a second down on the overall pace of Jack, but that's still looking pretty decent if he's going to put in a fast time. And he's in the 1:28, Jack in the 1:27. So this could be quite a nice lap from KD, and I think he's backed off. I think he's backed off, actually, as I say that. Well, the commentators curse everybody. That's what it does, and that is what it is. So as we watch for other cars out there, that's Hunt in the Haas there, making his way out of Ascari. He's had his lap time invalidated, so he's gone off somewhere around the lap. As in sector 1, we've got a yellow flag out. That quickly becomes a green flag. As that's Sven making his way through. Sven in his home race, I believe, making his way up towards turn 4 and 5, the Della Roggia chicane. He's a 10th or so down on the time, and they're squabbling with the car on exit. And now up towards the two Lesmos. Sven will want to put in a fantastic lap here as he makes his way through, riding on board with Luigi Sven now as he makes his way into the second of the two Lesmo corners, down towards Ascari now. And he's just going to want to have a nice little apex through here, nice line through here, unlike Martin, who crashed out here earlier in the session. As Sven makes his way through, and he's managed to make it through the first half, and he manages to make it through the second half of Ascari as well, as he now roars down the back straight all the way up to 8th gear. And now, what kind of line is he going to take through the parabolica? Is he going to stay tight to the inside like we've seen some drivers in the session already? Or is he going to take that wider apex line? He's going to take the wider line and he's not going to stick to the inside. And he's going to cross the line. And what kind of lap time is this going to be from Sven? It's going to put him up to 7th fastest, a 128.0. That puts him in between Smithy and Paulinski in the Haas. And that is a very nice time indeed for the home racer in his home event. Here at 5 minutes to go in this qualifying session, sponsored by Mode Pushers. There, that's Dickens, who was momentarily fastest in the early parts of qualifying, the number 71 Williams racing car. And he's in, he's in 10th place now as he makes his way out of the first chicane. There is Smithy in the number 6, no, 6th fastest in the Red Bull, I should say. As he makes his way through the final corner, his best lap is a 1:27.935, and Smithy's going to cross the line. What kind of lap time is he going to perform now as he crosses the line? And he is now on his lap. I don't know why I was having that up like it was the end of his lap, but he's started his lap now as he makes his way down towards the first chicane. The rest of the chicane, he's just going to want to take a nice line. He's hit both apexes brilliantly there as he makes his way down towards the flat-out Curva Grande. And this is where we've seen many a tussle before in not only real-life racing, but in virtual racing as well. There, the car to the left of him, which I believe was his teammate, he's just gone flying past him. Purple in the first sector for Smithy, although it says green there, it says purple on my screen as it makes his way up towards the first Lesmo, and now he'll make his way through. Oh, and he's fighting the car all the way through. That tells you how wet it is out there and how they're unexpecting it, but a dry line has formed and he's backed out. He's backed out of his time, and through goes his teammate once more, and there will be a flurry of cars behind him. That was looking like a pretty good lap for Smithy if it wasn't for that little correction that he had to do. And here's Jack on an outlap at the moment now as he makes his way through the Ascari chicane up towards the Parabolica now. And he is giving his teammate a slipstream there as he makes his way down towards the yellow flag out there as well. As we see there, Smithy, he's going into the pits at the moment. And yeah, so there's Jack out there at the moment. He is currently fastest in the session. He is fastest with a 1:27.2. That is a whole 10th faster than Fowler, and Fowler, who will at the moment will start on the front row. Then behind him, Hutton in 3rd, Jeansy 4th, Kowalski 5th, Harwood 6th, Smith is 7th, Sven 8th, Paulinski 9th, Hunt 10th, Dickens 11th, Madikern 12th, KD 13th, and Pixie 14th. Boss is 15th, and Boss, who I thought was out, is not actually out of the session. He has somehow managed to get back into the session now as there's a yellow flag out the first chicane, and I believe that's a Mercedes at the first chicane, and it looked to be Luigi Sven who had a moment coming out the first chicane. But as Jack makes his way around the final corner, what sort of lap time can he put in here? What can he do? Can he increase his margin at the front? Of course he can. 1:27.102. That is a mighty quick lap. And Hutton, in the Alfa Romeo with the slipstream, comes out of nowhere and goes only a few tenths of a second quicker. That is insane. So Hutton showing his pace here as you see him get all squirrely over the second curb. Hutton looking like a genuine threat here for pole in the closing stages. Can anyone else do anything behind, as we've only got a couple of seconds left in qualifying? We've only got a few seconds left. Fowler, he's just started his lap. They're all going to be starting their lap or finishing their lap as they make their way through the first chicane. That's where the chunk of cars are. There's a load of them there behind Fowler. You can see them there, about 4 cars all together there at the moment as a KD goes 7th fastest, 1:27, and Paulinski goes in behind him, 8th fastest with a 1:27.8. Fowler up towards the FWL chicane now. What sort of lap time can he produce in the Ferrari there? He's making his way up towards the first of the 2 Lesmo corners and into the second Lesmo. And he's going to want to just play it very carefully. There we've seen a lot of drivers losing it through the Lesmos. However, he has played it to perfection. And if he continues this lap, I don't think he can go ahead of Jack. Well, he might do, but who knows? He's 2/10 down at the moment. So I think he's just going to want to secure that P3, because that's a very nice place to start if you are Fowler. And he's gone wide there, but it's not invalidated. It's not invalidated, though, as he makes his way up towards the Parabolica corner. Jeansy Boy's out of the session. Jeansy Boy, so he must have had an accident somewhere around the lap there, as we see Fowler getting very, very loose over the curbs. And what kind of lap time can he put in? He can't improve. He goes 3rd fastest. And that is all they wrote for the top 3. Is there Smithy in the Red Bull. The other Red Bull will want to be higher than 9th at the moment as he makes his way. He's coming into Ascari now. And he makes his way through. 2 minutes to go, although there's the close 2 minutes. So the checkered flag is out. Many drivers have seen the checkered flag, but this man hasn't. That's why he's got a purple sector 1. He's absolutely flying in that Red Bull, wringing it by the neck as he heads into Parabolica. He only needs a clean line through here, and he could be on for a very nice lap, at least a better lap than 10th fastest for sure, as he makes his way across the line. What can Smithy do? He goes, wait for it, 4th fastest. He's gone 4th, and that is a mighty lap from Smithy there. As we waited for the session results to come through, Smithy 4th fastest. So that is your qualifying order after qualifying here in Monza. It is Cormac Hutton on pole position for Alfa Romeo All-In. And it's Jack right behind him. He's got a job to do. There's Luigi Sven. Luigi Sven managed to go 3rd fastest in the end. Well done. Smithy is 4th. Fowler is 5th. Iron Law Gamer, or Kowalski, you'd know him as, is 6th. Jeansy is 7th. Harwood 8th. SD Play is 9th. Paulinski 10th. And rounding out the top 10, Mano just misses out on the top 10. He'll be gutted with that, but hopefully he'll have a chance of points tomorrow. PSC 12th. Dickens 13th, Pixie 14th, Robertos 15th, and the drivers who did not set laps, the 2 AlphaTauris of Martin and Firefly, and starting last will be Danny Boy on the grid. Well, that was a fantastic qualifying session. What more? Well, let's just wait for the sequel. That is the race, because qualifying is one part, race is another. As we load into the final race of Tier 2, this is looking like a very good afternoon for Tier 2, or a very good evening, I should say, for Tier 2. And of course, this will not be possible without our incredible sponsors. It's a long list, and you should definitely join the F1 WoW League Discord and also the F1 WoW General Discord as well, because they are incredible places to chill out with F1 fans like yourself. That's why you're here, because you love the racing, and well, it's F1. Any excuse to fill your satisfaction between Saudi and Australia. But however, we're here in the virtual world. We're here at Monza in Italy for the Tier 2 finale. And as we load in then to the finale of Tier 2, this will be tripping over wires, as this will be a very nice afternoon for Tier 2. There is Hutton on the pole position, and it is wet in qualifying, and it is wet for the race as well. There's Jack, just going to want to play it safe through turn 1, but the championship is over. Well, it's not over, because there's still a constructor to decide. So Jack, I don't know if you want to play it cautious for himself, or will he just go full on in and just, well, yeah, like the first race of the season. But as Hutton makes his way through, and his teammate has been disqualified from the session, it's only the formation lap though, so don't worry whoever is in charge of Alfa Romeo. I'm sure you're watching. Big shout out to you. But don't worry, they're only disqualified from the formation lap, so he'll be waiting around on the grid. So that is not good for tyre warm-up. However, I don't think there's going to be much tyre warm-up because it's the rainy conditions and it is very wet out there. Well, they're on the intermediate, so it's not full wet conditions. So it could dry up over the 27 laps we have here. It could dry up. And so we make our way around the second Lesmo. Rest of the pack will follow them around in a long train. It is light rain for the rest of the day, so I don't think it's going to dry out anytime soon. Forecast track temperature 27 degrees, air temperature 23 degrees Celsius. And the other one is there as well for the other people. As they make their way through Ascari, there is Cormac Hutton on pole. This, just like in Australia, Alfa Romeo finding themselves in a very nice place. It was Harwood who took his maiden win last time out in Australia for Tier 2. And this time out, we see a collision there between Fowler and Kowalski. So they will be put to the grid as we see a very glitchy Smithy there as he's all over the place. That could cause a hazard down towards turn 1. But yeah, as I was saying, Australia, Alfa Romeo turned up with Harwood, and this time it's Hutton who's turning up. It's the other car turning up and qualifying in Alfa Romeo. This is looking like a very good afternoon if you are a member of the Alfa Romeo all-in team. One of your cars is on pole and one of your cars is 8, so both cars are in the top 10. There are the rest of the drivers there as they pull up to the grid. It is time to go racing for the final time in Tier 2 this year, or this season, sorry, as we make our way to the 5 red lights now. The rest of the pack will form up behind them, and this is the time that they'll all be watching forward as the lights will be coming on there. There's a stationary shot there of the front 2 on the grid. Firefly's been disqualified probably for parking his car a bit wrongly, as there's Hutton, and alongside is Jack there. Here we go then. It's time for the last race of Tier 2. They'll all be watching the 5 lights at the front. And it's lights out and we're underway, and it's a decent start off of pole for Cormac Hutton as he's already getting ahead there. It's 3 wide behind them there with the Red Bull of Smithy all over the place now as they make their way down towards turn 1. Hutton's leading ahead of the pack as well as there. Oh, there's a bit of a shuffle there as round goes, almost round goes Cormac Hutton. They're all over the place as they make their way through. They're all ghosting about. There's Jeezy dropping down the order as well as Jack up to P2, Smithy up to P3, Fowler in P4. Mano is in P5 at the moment. Harwood, despite the half spin, Martin is fighting Hutton as they, not Hutton, Kowalski as they make their way through. They're all over the place on this first lap. It's so frenetic there, and the round goes. Harwood, he avoided a spin before, and there's a car off as well. Car goes off in the background. I think it was one of the Williams going off in the background there, and it's chaos at the start in Monza in the wet, as it usually is. And there the AlphaTauri, who's on the inside heading into turn. Oh, and there's a bit of contact there between Martin and Sven as they make their way onto the back straight down towards Ascari now. It's all going to calm down now, or maybe it won't, because they're all side by side. Oh, and there, big crash, big collision there as it was 3 wide down. That's Kowalski going into the wall, and you saw there it was 3 wide down towards Ascari, and that never works, never has, never will. And the safety car, virtual safety car at least, has been deployed. So we get a little bit of a pause here at the end of a frenetic first lap here at Monza. And that, well, Hutton leading the way here in Monza from Jack, from Smithy. So Red Bull 2 and 3, that's good for their championship hopes. However, Martin has come up to P9 and Firefly's P11 at the moment. And the virtual safety car there, you can see the long train of cars as they make their way down towards turn 1. This is where we saw a lot of chaos and a lot of action going on as they all just tried to make their way through this first chicane, and without trying to create a big collision, just trying to formate an order in an orderly fashion. And so that is, oh no, that is not a good message there at the bottom if you are a F1 streaming aficionado, as yeah, restart is in order probably because of a yeah. Thank you for that, as the man who brings you all of these amazing things talks about. So all the things that you're seeing on screen, don't worry, they're not going to be counted, I think. I don't know. Is it a restart? I don't know. because they're racing, but everyone has left. There you can see there the ghosted cars. So I don't think this is gonna count. As I just watch a quick. Yeah, it is. It is going to be a restart. So it is going to be a restart. So I think we can call out the red flags after that crash for Kowalski down at turn down at the Ascari chicane there. So as they will they'll make their way round, but it doesn't count for anything. I'll commentate when we're in there. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the F1 WoW stream. We have had a short little break period, but we are back and we have lost Robertos and Danny Boy, who retired during qualifying, and he is not joining us for the rest. And Robertos is not joining us for this restart here after a chaotic first couple of moments there, as we see Hutton getting very, and he's off the circuit. He got a bit squirrely there on the formation lap, as well, that tells you how wet it is. And with the drivers not having driven around here for a few minutes, it can take a little bit to kick in. So we may see a bit of chaos on this first lap here as we make our way around. And yeah, so the start before that was a crazy start. However, the red flags were called and we are back out racing again. And all the crashes, all the incidents has been fixed, and we are going to go off of the original qualifying starting order. So that means that Paul Kowalski will start 6th fastest, or 6th place on the grid, sorry I should say, after he had that big crash coming down to Ascari on the first lap. So, and the lap timer has been reset to 27. So essentially a whole race restart. It's like that first start never even happened, but it did in our minds. It happened in our minds. That's where it happened. So everyone will start on the inters because it is a wet race here at Monza, and the conditions have barely lightened at all. It is still wet. It is still raining, and we'll be back underway for the Tier 2 finale. And there you can see Jack very, very excited to get this finale underway, because why shouldn't he be? He has a great chance to take the lead here. If he can get a good enough start, he can lead down towards first corner. It's one of the longest runs down towards turn 1 of the season. And well, for the final time this season, they'll be lining up on the grid as Jack touches the wall there. I'm not surprised he was disqualified. As they make their way onto the grid, there's Hutton, there's Jack. Sven will come in 3rd fastest, and it's like a last day of school feel around here at Monza. You can feel it very much here, as it's the final race of the season. Some drivers will be leaving to go to other teams, and there's a bit of confusion there. Some drivers will be leaving to go to other teams. Some will be staying, but all we know is the 5 red lights are coming on now in Monza. And the second start is underway, and it's a better start from Jack, and he's going to draw alongside Hun, going down towards turn 1. Jeansy Boys trying to go 3 wide with the Ferrari in the background. There is all over the place. There is a crash on the inside. That's one of the Mercedes who's hit the inside wall. Jack is going to lead down towards the first corner, and Jeansy is trying to go around the outside of Hun for P2 as they're all over the road there. There's Mano off the track, and there's an incident there, as I think that was... It's Hun, the pole sitter. Hun is down the order, and he's dropped down to last place. Jack leads it to Red Bull 1-2 now, as the VSC is deployed after another chaotic start here at Monza, which sees the pole sitter drop down the order to last place. Wow. Well, that is a frenetic start there. I think there may have been contact with with the pole sitter there. I think he may have spun it with Jeansy Boy. I don't know. I wasn't looking at that. We were looking further back at the battle between Mano and the driver, but it's a Red Bull 1-2 as the VSC has ended. It is a Red Bull 1-2. Jack is leading, but here comes Smithy into the Ascari chicane. He's not going to get it done there, and he's going to let off the brakes, and he's going to drop down the order, and Smithy's actually ghosted now, and that's not good for his hopes at all, as Harwood goes up to P3. Jeansy's now in P2. Jack leads the race at the moment here in Monza, as we see there, moves further back potentially between the Haas there and the AlphaTauri. Martin 11th, Firefly 13th. So right now, if it ended this way, the Red Bull would be the champions by default, as they have a 2-point deficit here, and here comes Smithy once more on the back of face there as a move for the lead. That's Jeezy going for the lead on the inside. I was looking further back as Jeezy trying to go around the outside of Jack into turn 1 and 2. He's on the inside. Jack's going to get the better line now on the outside as battles for the lead, battles for 4th place. And battles for the final podium place as well, as they see there. Points place, I should say, as Jack leads the race from Jeezy. Jeezy's attack failed on him as Luigi Sven's into the pits there as it's wheel to wheel. Jack, and that's Smithy in trouble there as he's getting overtaken by Kowalski now on the inside into the rest of Filo chicane. Now he's under pressure from Polinski now, as we see there further back. That is Martin and Pixie fighting it out, and there was another fight further front there. This is on board with Polinski now, as that is one of the cars. That's Yuki there in the Williams there, down towards the Ascari chicane now, as it's Smithy's had a moment. He's dropped down behind Mano now, and Smithy having an awful opening lap here. I mean, an awful second lap here as he's ghosted now. I think that may be a game glitch, but he's going to get overtaken now by this Williams now as he goes down towards the Parabolica now, as he's getting overtaken all over the place there as wheel to wheel. That's the Ferrari up against Mano. That's Fowler and Mano down the main straight. Trying to go wheel to wheel now as back out in front. Jeezy's closing in up in front. Can he go for the lead on Jack now? He's trying on the inside down towards turn 1. He's got the preferred line and Jack is going to try and hold him to it. Jack's almost off the track. Jeezy's almost off the track now, but Jeezy takes the lead in Italy now, and Harwood is right behind the two of them now, and Harwood is bringing with him Polinski, not Polinski, but he is bringing Polinski, but the other ski of Kowalski into this fight now as they make their way up towards the rest of Filo. Those are the leaders there, and they are fighting it out lap after lap. But no, there round goes Harwood's gone round. I just saw that in the background there as he got it. I don't know if that was on power or over the curb, but he spun it round and he's dropped down the order. That has dropped him out of the fight for the lead, as he's now dropped all the way down to P10 now, as Pixie is fighting with the two Alpha Tauris now as they make their way down towards the Ascari. Those are the leaders. That's Jeezy from Jackers through the Ascari now. They'll run down to the approach to the Parabolica and down this straight now, and Jeezy a little bit wider than he wanted Jack to be right on the back of him, heading on to this next lap now as he's right there behind Jeezy. He's not going to make the move down towards Parabolica, surely not, because that put him on the back foot for the main straight. He's going to stick behind the McLaren and he's going to wait his time, and his time is going to come now down the front straight with the slipstream. Of course, Monza, the temple of speed, and it is known for its speed because it's roaring up behind. Here comes Jack on the back of Jeezy. Jeezy defends to the inside. Jack's now on the outside down towards turn 1. Can Jack go right around the outside? No, he can't. He's going to back off on the brakes. And behind Polinski is, not Polinski, Kowalski. I'm getting those two confused today. Kowalski is just looking behind. He's got a bit of a gap though behind there, as that's the Alfa Romeo of that. I think that's Harwood. Wheel to wheel with Smithy there through the first chicane. That was Harwood and Smithy trying to go side by side down the main straight there as they make their way through. That's Martin now for the final points place on Smithy. He's got the move done, and Hutton has put in the fastest lap of the race, so despite being spun around, he is still showing his pace as he's got Luigi Sven right on the back of him now as they make their way through. That's Martin riding on board with the man who has had decent pace all year round, but he is down in 10th place right now, and it's not good for Martin as he makes his way down towards Ascari now, and he's got Smithy right on the back of him. How Smithy goes to, I think that's a game glitch there, another F122 way of working, and here comes Jack right on the back of Jeezy Boy. He's not going to try it into Parabolica. Yes, he is. He's on the inside. There's almost contact. Jeezy has to go a little bit wider than he would have wanted, but they might be side by side coming down the main straight now. Here comes Jeezy. And that's it. Well, here's Jeezy on Jack, as now Jeezy in the slipstream. He's going to try on the inside of the Red Bull driver now. He's right alongside him now. Is he going to be brave enough on the brakes? Here he comes. He's on the inside and he's going to put his car there. Whoa, there's nearly contact. And Jeezy's going to go the long way round, and he's going to come out ahead of Jack. This is a brilliant scrap now. Here comes Kowalski now on Jack, and Kowalski goes through on the inside into the Curva Grande. What a fight this is for the battle of the lead now as Jack looking to get the position off of Kowalski now in the Aston Martin, who sneaks by into second place. This is fantastic stuff at the front of the field, but Kowalski makes a little mistake, and Jack is now going to be all over the back of him now as they head through the two Lesmo corners there. Jack fighting oversteer on entry, or understeer maybe. I'm not sure, but this is a brilliant little battle here. Monza is producing here as they make their way down towards Ascari. We're on lap 5 of 27 here in Italy, and this second restart has proved to be the best as we have some fantastic racing now as they come through Ascari. There's Kowalski just ahead of Jack now. Jack will want to be leading this race. He wants the best for him, but I mean, he's got to think about the Red Bull Constructors Championship now. However, I think they're okay where they are at the moment to take away the championship from... No, they're not actually, because the two AlphaTauris are in the points position, but down the main straight, the slipstream is going to come into effect here. Are they going to make any moves for the lead? Jack is closing in on the back of Kowalski now to close in towards turn 1 there. Oh, further back, that's Fowler on the inside of KD now as they make their way through. There's Mano trying to make his position known, trying to make his presence known on Harwood there in the Alfa Romeo there as they make their way up towards the Curva Grande now. Is it going to be a Grande move from Mano now as they make their way up? That was directly ripped from David Croft. He's going to try it on the outside down towards the Rettifilio chicane, and Mano can't make the position and he almost has to cut the track there, and he's going to be slowed down so much now as he makes his way through, and Martin is right behind Mano as well now. So Martin coming through the field, and look who is behind Martin. It is the man who is second in the championship, Firefly, or Davis as he's better known around here, as they make their way down. That's Mano riding on board with the driver who has had great pace all year and has had great pace at some of the racetracks already, and he got a podium in a few races before. As they make their way down the back straight, it's Martin still trying to just close in on him now as they make their way up towards Ascari. He's not Ascari, Parabolica. He's right on the back of him now as they make their way through Parabolica, now flat to the floor as they will go down the main straight. It's a bit of a gap now for Slipstream now as we get these DRS there as out in front. That's Jack not using the DRS train, but using the Slipstream train indeed. I don't know why I'm saying DRS train, because we're in the wet. Where is the DRS? As Martin has got the move on Mano. He's on the outside into turn 1. He's on the back foot essentially, but Mano's going to hold him on the outside, and he almost goes wide, and Martin is ahead of Mano, and up to P8 goes the driver who is chasing the championship now. Is battle for P2, and here comes Jack on the outside of Kowalski, and he's gone through on the inside into the Rettifilio, or the Della Roggia, I should say. He's got that move absolutely sorted and done with. Look at the gap he's got now to Kowalski. Is now Paul Linsky. He's on the back of Kowalski now as they make their way through, and they make their way down towards the Ascari chicane. These top 4, well, the third and fourth aren't separated, but the top 4 are all still in roughly the same camera shot now, as there's Jeansy in the lead of the race. Jack in P2 will be hunting him down. However, hunting even more is Polinsky on Kowalski now as they make their way out of the Ascari chicane down towards Parabolica. Polinsky, who's had great pace all year long, is going to have a little look on the inside. He's going to try and get in the mindset of Kowalski now as the steward's handing out a warning to multiple drivers for track limits, I'd assume, at that corner there, Parabolica, because they keep running wide as Jack is closing in on Jeansy Boy here, and there's not a lot he can do there, but here comes Polinsky on the back of Kowalski. He's going to try for the inside in the Haas, and he's not going to succeed there. He was a bit too far back to make the move there. He had a little look down towards turn 1 as if he was going to send it, and not a lot of moves happening further back, as it's all sort of single file all the way through, line astern, and up towards the Della Roggia. That's Jack closing into Jeansy Boy. So Jeansy Boy having the pace to take the lead, but Jack having the overall pace on those intermediate tyres. Are we going to see any stops? Because these boys won't want to take any time out of their tyres, as we see there's the there was the tyre gap, as Jack right on the back of him now. How much is he taking out of those intermediate tyres? to try and catch up to Jeansy, and how much is Jeansy conserving on those intermediates? Are we going to see any stops during this race? I fear we are. But at the moment, Jack closing into Jeansy. Paulinski there. No, not Paulinski. Paulinski's in fourth. That's Kowalski in third. As back in front, Jack is very, very close to the back of Jeansy. Could make a move up towards Parabolica, and Kowalski's got a brilliant front row seat for all of this because he's the man in third place at the moment as Jack closing right up to the back of Jeansy boy there. He would have had to bang on the brakes a lot harder than he were wanted, but down the main straight he's going to have that slipstream. He's not going to have the DRS because it's wet. Here he goes, he's on the back of the McLaren now. Surely he's going to dart to the inside or the outside as he closes in now, and he's going to have a little look now, but it's not going to turn into anything there as we see battle at the back there. That's Martin making up a place on KD in the Mercedes now for 7th place. He's on the outside, and Davis gets KD as well. No, sorry, that was Davis getting Manican as well as battles for the lead. Jack's caught up to the back of him now as Jack's taking the lead away from Jeansy boy. That was a bit of an abrupt battle there as they go through the the Della Roger chicane, and there was almost contact there as Jeansy almost cut across him, but Jack, yeah, sticking in the slipstream just after turn 1 and 2, and it paid off for him because he had the opportunity to attack up towards turn 4 and 5. But back there, Manny Camden and Davis fighting for P, and I think Manny Camden has just come out on top because he's just got 9th place. Oh, and there, Davis is off the track. Davis was off the track there as he tried to pass Manny Camden. And I apologise for the voice crack there. That's what puberty does to you as they make their way down towards Ascari now. Can Davis try anything on the inside? He's getting very close to the back of Manny Camden as he makes his way through. Mano 3 seconds time penalty for multiple warnings. That'll be track limits then as Davis right on the back of him now. He will want that slipstream down towards Parabolica and turn 1 and 2. The first chicane, the Rettifilio chicane, as there's a yellow flag waving further back as they make their way down the main straight. It's a long, long train of cars that are being separated by a lot. There's a big gap between the leader and 2nd place. However, at the moment, Manny Camden is just going to want to hold off Davis at the moment, who's in P10 right there, as they just try and close in. And it's a big gap. They close them in the corners, but it's a big gap on the straight. So the straight line speed really having an advantage there. As there's Jack in 2nd place as Paulinski is closing up to the back of Kowalski. Could there be a move on here down towards the Della Roger chicane? Here he goes. He's on the inside. He was on the inside for a moment there, and I thought he was going to get the move done as they made their way up towards the Della Roger chicane. He had a move though. But yeah, so yeah, that's Paulinski just trying to get into the mind of Kowalski. He's just trying to appear large in his mirrors as they make their way through on lap 10 of 27. So the race already flying past here as Jack on board with the champion-elect as they make their way down towards the Ascari chicane. Jeansy still leading in the McLaren, so if Jeansy can hold on, I believe that'll be his first win of the season, I believe. And Jack, well, he's chasing one of many wins as they make their way down towards Parabolica. It's still a roughly large gap as the straight line speed of Jeansy is showing quite a lot here at Monza as he's just, whoa, and you can see there sliding through the Parabolica were the two leaders now as Jeansy. He's got a bit of a gap to Jack, and Jack, I don't think he'll be able to do anything. He'll just want to close up to the back there, and he is closing up though, and there, moving to the inside, you can see in the background, Kowalski on Paulinski as the first car into the pits is Davis. He'll be wanting to go off those intermediate tires. I don't think he's got any damage per se. And I stand corrected. He is having a front wing change, and I thought he would be the first car off those intermediates, and I thought that was going to change the complexion of the race. He was the first car off of intermediate, but he's going to be on fresh intermediates now. So is that going to pay an advantage to his race, or is it going to hinder him if it is the incorrect way to go? Because I mean, despite it spitting out there, it does look like it's drying up ever so slightly. So I don't know if old Inter is the way to go or what, but as they close up at the front, Jack has closed up to Jeansy boy on this lap as they make their way down towards Ascari. He's right there behind him, and also right there behind him is Paulinski on Kowalski as Jack is very, very close to the back of Jeansy boy as they're sliding their way through Ascari now. And here you just see the straight line speed of the McLaren. He just blitzes away down the straight, and he tries and builds that gap. But into the braking zone, Jack has got it covered now is through on the brakes and now out wide over the curbs, or not over the curbs because we want to avoid them. And you can see, yeah, he gets a much better one out of Parabolica and just blitzes Jack on the straights. I said that once before. Jack is closing in. He's closing in. He's going to dummy a move to the inside, hoping he catches Ginger Boy off guard at some point. But I mean, through the corners, he just really closes up now. As once again, the battle for the lead, Evertenser. But Evertenser is the battle for the last podium position, as there's about a train of about 5 or 6 cars behind Kowalski now as they head up towards the De La Rocha chicane. Jack can't make the move as there. He's off as Kowalski forced him off there. There was a move for P3 going on there. And it's a penalty for Polinsky. What? He was clearly forced off there. Oh no, oh, Jack has a moment coming through the Lesmos. And again, it all kicks off here on lap 12. Polinsky goes off with contact with Kowalski there, down towards turn 4. I don't know if you would have seen that very well, but I think Kowalski may have forced him off slightly there. But as they make their way through Ascari, it's the calm period, it's the small grace period that they have on the lap. It's that Ascari chicane down towards Parabolica. No one wants to make a move to Parabolica because that puts you on the back foot for the main straight. As Seventh Face gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits. And Jack closing into the back of Jeansy. He's really binding his time behind Jeansy there and taking a tighter line. And as they come onto the main straight, he's not exactly in that slipstream that Jeansy is pulling. 15 laps to go here at Monza. And it is a very crazy finale here. As Jack was a little bit late on the brakes there as Martin's into the pits from 11th place, and there's Harwood in P5, so René AlphaTauri first in. And I think Jack made a mistake at that first chicane. I think he may have locked up because because now Jeansy has a massive gap out in front, almost a whole second out in front from Jack there at the moment, as Martin is going to come out with just behind Hutton, so he's got some time to make up there. And you can see there, that's the gap between Jack and the leader Jeansy. So he definitely made a mistake at turn 1 because he took a much deeper line than he would have wanted. As there's Polinsky, he's third, but he's got a 3-second time penalty, which I personally disagree with, because I think Kowalski forced him off. But I don't know, I'd have to see a different angle there. But from what angle I saw, they were side by side into the corner, and Polinsky hit the inside wall there. So as far as I'm concerned, something Kowalski may have driven over him essentially, or Polinsky could have driven into him. That's why Kowalski is down the order in 6th place. But it's Fowler in 4th and Hutton in 5th. How's that for an order here? At the end of lap 13 in this Italian Grand Prix, it is McLaren, much like it was. And Jeansy's into the pits. Jeansy's into the pits. So Jeansy's now into the pits. This is going to be an important tire change for him. This is the first one to blink at the front properly for some new inters. And also following him is, well, I thought it was a Ferrari, but it was just a man standing outside as Jeansy makes his stop onto new intermediates. Jack is now freed up behind Jeansy and is in the lead of the race, also into the pits, as ST Plays, or KD, has come into the pits, and he makes his stop onto New Inter. So New Inter's looking like the way to go here, voice crack, as in Monza now, as you see, there's what is going on with the lead. Is Jack going to pit this lap, I wonder? Is he going to pit in and blink and do what his rival does, or is he going to stay out and risk it on old Inters? Because the intermediate tyre, it definitely looks to be the faster way than New Inter. However, old Inter, I don't know if he can stay out that long. If he can, that'd be mighty impressive. But he'd have to pit towards the end of the race and then sprint through the field on new intermediates if he is going to pit. But here is where it's all decided, as Jack makes his way up towards the final corner, Parabolica. As there you see, that's Kowalski now in 5th place because of Jeansy's penalty. As here comes Jack through Parabolica. Is he going to head into the pit lane on this lap? And he's reaching for the inside, and he is. He's heading in, and also heading in is Polinsky also in. So that means that Fowler leads the race from Hutton. Not Hutton, sorry. Harwood. And Polinsky is now in 3rd position, as Jack has had his stop. They haven't served. Oh, no. Wait, that's Polinsky. Yeah, Polinsky serving his penalty there. as now Jack comes out into the race on new intermediates. Where is he going to come out? Martin's just set the fastest lap of the race. And is he ahead? He's not ahead of Jeansy Boy. So staying out a lap longer wasn't the option. And Martin is up in net because he pitted before, remember. I think Martin is up there with Jack and Jeansy Boy. That might sound crazy to say, but because he pitted and he just set in the fastest lap. He pitted the lap before Jeansy did, remember. And I think he's genuinely there. I think he's now genuinely there. So Martin has put himself back up with a strategical masterclass. He's put himself back up there. Because now, I mean, he almost overtook Jack on pit exit there. But Jack is behind Jeansy Boy, and yeah, you can see that gap once again forming itself very nicely there as Jack, I think Martin is going to be there legitimately. I think he's going to be there legitimately third place behind Jack. Because he pitted the lap before Jeansy did. He was the car you saw heading into the pits just before Jeansy went in. So I believe he's there genuinely. So that's very interesting to see. What they've done is Harwood has pitted at the front. So Will Harwood for Alfa Romeo has come in at the front of the field. And he is into the pits. And what sort of stop are they going to produce down there? And the Haas mechanics, they're getting ready for something, as do the Williams mechanics, as it's a... well, it's a stop time for sure, but he's out into the race. And will he be ahead? And no, he won't be ahead. He will come out just behind Martin, and he'll be ahead of his teammate as well. No, he won't be, as in comes Yuki as well. And this race, in about half a second, turns complexions completely, as the three at the front are the only three who haven't pitted for new intermediates. Well, there might be a couple in the middle of the field, but they're the top three are the ones that they'll all have their eyes on. And by they, I mean everyone who is watching this race. And so at the moment, there's Jeansy out in front from Jack and Martin at the moment. Well, that's the net lead. And given that Surface has come out P7, I would say that Martin is genuinely there. He is genuinely there because he pitted a lap before. I don't think he has to pit again. So Martin, well done, has put himself in a very nice place. As the steward's giving out a warning. So is Fowler going to pit this lap? He's coming around Parabolica now. There's Fowler. Is he going to come in this lap? I wonder, as we see there, Martin making his way through Parabolica just behind those two, as Jack is closing up to the back of Jeansy there, and Jack could make a move for provisional P1 as they make their way up towards the final corner. Parabolica, has Jeansy made a mistake, and has he just let the lead of this race go by, or is he going to somehow pull an absolute madness and go down the main straight? No, he's not pulling away. In fact, it's Jack pulling up. Here comes Jack, and he might take the net lead of the race here. He's closing back to the back of Jeansy, and he's pulling to the inside. Here comes Jack on the inside into turn one. He's got the best line into turn one. However, Jeansy's going to hold him on the outside there. It's very, very close. And Jeansy somehow comes out ahead despite having the outside line through that chicane. So it was a very, very nice defensive driving there from Jeansy to put himself, well, to keep him P4 there, as Jack stays in P5, and he's running a tighter line through there. As we see there, those are the two Hasses squabbling for a position further back there, as out in front, that's Jeansy in the lead of the race, as Jack still chasing him down, and Jack closing up once again. You can see he took a very wide line there, Jeansy. He's taking a very wide line, and Jack now closing up to the back of Jeansy for the net lead of the race. But look at that McLaren in a straight line, just absolutely rocket ships away from him as they make their way down towards Ascari. And with 17 laps completed, there are about 10 laps or so to go, and you can see there up at the front they're having a couple of moments there as they go wide, not only on entry but on exit as well. Sorry, they have a little moment on exit of the Ascari chicane as Jack closing up to the back of Jeansy once more. Are we going to get another battle for the lead on the main straight? Yeah, it is. Only time will tell as Jack closing up to the back. I say we are, because he's closing up rather rapidly to the back of the McLaren. He's pulled to the outside this time, seeing what Jeansy did last lap. He ducks back into the slipstream for another dosage, but now here he comes to the outside, and Jeansy is later onto the brakes into turn 1 and 2, and Jack hits very close to the back of it's very close to contact there, as now here comes Martin on the back of Jack as well. He's rubbing his hands together, looking at these two fighting so much, and he's now thinking, okay, I think I can try something here if these two start fighting now, as he makes his way up towards turn 4. He's having a little look on Martin, Jeansy boy. Martin having a look on Jack, sorry, as Jeansy boy. Having a little moment there. He went a little bit wider than they would have wanted, but to be fair, they all went a little bit wider than they would have wanted through that corner. And because the rain is laying down more water on the racing line, the more Tron racing line, it's different every lap. So they've got to be careful not to upset the car too much. They can't take the same line they did before on the previous lap, but it's roughly the same. So I wouldn't say it matters a bit too much. As Jack once again through Ascari, he is just goated at Ascari there as he makes his way through, and he's closed up to the back of him. And Kowalski's going to the pits. Kowalski has gone into the pit lane from second place in the Aston Martin. Mano goes up to P2, so Fowler still leads. And there's the Aston Martin into the pit lane, and down the main straight comes the leading trio, I should say. Well, they're technically in the net leading the race, and Martin closing up to the back of Jack now. Is he going to make a move for provisional P2? He's going to get very close to him, and he's going to put his nose in, but it's not going to come out because it just, that was very low on the brakes from Martin. Very naughty from Martin as well to try it that up the inside there, as that's Mano, I believe. No, that's not. That'll be Polinsky. No, not Polinsky. Kowalski, sorry. Wheel to wheel with the Mercedes of KD there, fighting for the final points position. As they make their way up towards the Della Roggia chicane, the second chicane on the lap there. And, I mean, that's blatantly obvious. And, yeah, 3 seconds for KD is now he's wheel to wheel with Polinsky, but it doesn't come out as anything because he blatantly cut the inside there. I mean, you saw that pretty much on stream, basically, as that was very obvious there, and the stewards thinking the same thing. 3-second penalty for him for corner cutting, and well, that's his race pretty much done for, because there's a load of position behind him. That's Davis right behind him as well. And speaking of Davis, his teammate up at the front with a front row seat with these two battling, Jack and Jeansy, closing in on each other as they make their way through Parabolica, and very, very slippery through Parabolica, because you can see when they're putting down the power to get the power on the main straight, yeah, it's just the rear starts to come around, and here comes Jack on the rear of Jeansy, but it's not going to amount to much because he just closes in a little bit too much, not too much, sorry, I should say, because he's just not, it's just not enough to close in on the back of Jeansy. And I mean, he wants to make that move into turn 1. You could tell he wants to make that move into turn 1. If he can't get it done there, he wants to get it done over here at turn 4 and 5 into the Della Roggia chicane, as Hutton has pitted further back in the Alfa Romeo, and Luigi Sven has also pitted in the Mercedes as well, but he is running last in the race at his home race, and that is very sad to see. And as they make their way through, that's on board with Jack. There's lap 20 now, so it's 7 laps to go here in Monza as they make their way through. It is Fowler in the lead, and I don't know, is Fowler going to pit again off those old intermediates? Surely Jeansy and Jack and Martin will catch him before the end of the race. And I've just realised behind Martin is Selwood Face. He's closing in. He's one to watch. It's coming up towards the end. Is Fowler going to pit at some point during this race? Because if he doesn't, he's going to be in big trouble from the 3 behind him with Jeansy, Jack and Martin. Jack, you can see, taking a tight line, but I don't think it's helping him all that much down the straight, because he does close in, but the McLaren breaks the slipstream once and twice down the straight. Over Martin closing up to the back of Jack. He's not going to force it down the inside, surely not, but gets very close to the back of him. And yeah, very close to him. And whoa, big slide for Jack out of turn 2. Here comes Martin on the inside, and he's through. Martin goes through, and Jack will be seething at that one. He had a big slide out of turn 2, and he had to catch it, and it's lucky he did catch that. And he's dropped down to P3, essentially, or P5 and 4, I should say. Once Mano and Fowler pit, and they surely have to pit. They can't stay out there because Jeansy is closing in to them all, and they are all closing in. But Jack down to P5, Martin up to P4, and you can just see there what happened there. Jack, wow, that anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does, and you've just seen it right there. And Selwood Face is now joining this little fray as well. as he's now right on the back of Jack. Jack is not going to like this one bit, as we've got a yellow flag in Sector 2, and I believe someone's had a moment coming out of the second Lesmo. But out in front, the Fowler still hasn't pitted, and now Jeansy has closed in. It is now the 8 seconds is the gap between Jeansy and Mano. And Martin right on the back of Jeansy now. So Martin feeling confident they can take the fight to the McLaren. The net leader of the race, essentially, once Mano and Fowler come in, although I'm starting to worry they won't come in. However, here comes Martin on the back of Jeansy. The net late race changes hands once more. Through goes Martin on the inside. And oh, Jeansy going to come back on the inside, and there's almost contact. He's almost wheel to wheel with him, and now Jeansy going to go wide. Here comes Jack on the inside of Jeansy now. He's going to try it, but it's not going to come out to anything now because he can't get the power down, but up towards the De La Roche chicane. Are we going to see another battle out in front? Jeansy's closing in to the back of Martin. He's right alongside him, and he's almost alongside him, I should say, but he's going through the chicane. He's going to have to sit behind the AlphaTauri for another lap or so. And that is not what, and that is exactly what you want to see if you're third face, and or anyone, or the top two, Mano and a Fowler, because they're trying to get away at the front, but Jeansy is closing in, and they've surely got to pit. If they don't pit, that would be incredible, but I don't think it would happen though, because here comes Jack on the back of Jeansy. He's trying up the inside in towards the sky. I thought he was trying up the inside. He had a look one way, he had a look the other, and it didn't amount to much really, as Fowler comes around the front corner. He's not pitting. I think Fowler might be going to the end on these tyres. He might be trying to get these tyres to the end, and it surely cannot be possible to go the entire race on one set of tyres. But Mano's following him as well. Those are the two that haven't come in yet, and I worry, are they going to be a threat here in this title finale? And someone's gone off there, and I think that was Jeansy going off there. But here comes Harwood on the inside of Jack down towards turn 1. Harwood and Jack are going to go wheel to wheel, and Harwood's going to go through on the inside on Jack. He's got the preferred line, he's got the preferred traction, and he's through on Jack on the inside. Through goes Harwood up to, well, I'm going to say up to P5 now, because I'm uncertain about these two at the front. Are they going to come in? Or are they going to stay out for as long as they can and try and sprint their way through the pack come the end of the race? Because Mano, well, he's got a 9-second lead now, but he's not, I mean, it's not much of anything really, because Martin will be hunting down Mano, and he's got a big gap behind him from Jeansy and Harwood, and Harwood has closed in. So Harwood and Jeansy, you see there, that is the tyres actually coming in to Martin's preferential conditions. And third face Harwood, who did come in before these two, is actually running right there, and this is now very interesting, because there's a game of tyre strategy now, as you see third face, who I believe came in a couple of laps before Jeansy, or the lap before Jeansy, or a lap after Jeansy, I'm not sure. Those tyres are going to be a lot better condition now than Jeansy, so I think Jeansy can is going to be under threat from Harwood, as here comes Harwood on the back of the McLaren. Here he goes, he's going to go for P4 in the race. Through goes Harwood on the inside, but Jeansy's going to try it around the outside like we saw him with Jackie's rear axle to front axle now. As they go through, it's almost contact through turn 2. It's a bottleneck essentially, and here comes Jack as well, thinking, oh, hang on a minute, I'll have a go here, as they make their way up through turn 3 once more on lap 24. And now, out in front, you can see, I think Martin can see, yeah, Martin can see Mano out in front, so those tyres are not working to Mano's favour. I think they're going to be passing as Jeansy and Harwood fighting once more up towards the two Lesmos. Now is and Jeansy tried it on the inside, you saw, late on the brakes, but that hasn't worked out for him now, because he's got Jack right behind him, breathing up his nose and nose. I'll say that. Jack's had a moment coming out of the Lesmo, and he's dropped behind him now. He's dropped far behind him. That's disaster for Jack in the title finale, or the race finale. It's disaster for Jack, as we've got a spinner, and it is ST Plays, or KD, who has spun it. As we just check in out there in front, in third place, Martin is closing in on the back of Mano, so I think Mano is going to be passed here within the next couple of laps, or is Fowler going to come into the pits? Mano has not made this work, but I don't know, is Martin going to catch Mano within the last couple of laps? Or is it going to be an astounding Fowler victory and Mano second? I have no idea. There's Mano. You can see him just up the road from Martin. As Martin just trying to catch up to the back of him. I don't know if this is possible. Unless they do pit in these last 3 laps, I can't see happening. I think this is going to be really tip and nuck here. Or really, whatever the saying was I was trying to go for. As they make their way up towards the Telleroggi chicane once more. There's Martin. He is now going to be chasing down a victory here in Monza as he's going to try and catch up to Mano, which I definitely think is going to get done. 2 laps in 3 laps. Mano's on old tyres. And Martin's on new ones. Oh, Martin's had it off. They almost had it off there, but it slid out of turn 2, and that could be his chance of victory gone. Because here comes Harwood coming up from behind, and I think that's just freed up Mano and Fowler for a race win. They stuck it out on those old tyres, and I think they could be taking those right to the end of the race. There's got another yellow flag out as KD has another moment on track. He's had several moments. And as we watch the leading pair has actually fizzled out. So you can see, I think that was Jeansy holding up Sir's face, because Sir's face has newer tyres. So I think Sir's face is being held up, and Martin's being held up by Jeansy as well, because he's got superior pace all the time. And with only a couple of laps to go, this race, well, the race that we thought everyone was going to stop in, turns out the drivers who haven't stopped, Mano and Fowler, are taking their tyres right to the end here. And this is going to be a textbook win if they can pull this off. Fowler out in the lead. He's got 7 seconds in the lead, and it would be a return to the podium, and it would be a return to the top step since about, what, season 4, I think, was the last time Fowler won a race. So this is going to be incredible stuff for Fowler. Mano would get P2, and Martin would get P3 after hustling for so long. And we thought it would be a Martin victory as well, because I thought, that Fowler and Mano would pit. But they chanced it, and against all odds, they are coming out on top here in Monza at the moment. But Martin is closing up to Mano, so this could be a tense last lap. I don't think Fowler's going to be catch unless he pits this lap. I don't think Martin's going to catch him, as Jack gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting now. As we make our way onto the last lap of the race. Fowler starts the last lap. He hasn't come in. 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Mode Push. It's the last lap of season 8, I think, of Tier 2. Fowler is leading the race. He's ahead. A clear way ahead, as we see there, battling there. That's Jack and Jeansy going on to the last lap. He's right behind the McLaren now. Is he going to try it down towards turn 1? He's going to have a look. That's his one main overtaking opportunity on the circuit, unless he can try it up towards turn 3 and 4. This is the battle for 5th place. However, Jack with a penalty, so I don't think he could get it done. So a lot of if, buts and maybes here. And this is going to be an absolutely insane race to the end of the race. As here comes Jack. He's on the back of Jeansy, and he had a look up the inside. But it doesn't pay off at the end. As out in front there, you can see there's Martin. He's chasing down Mano, but I don't think he's going to do it. As we see the leader, Fowler, the leader, making his way through Ascari now. I think, in an insane way, this is going to be quite remarkable. As here comes Fowler, up towards Parabolica. He hasn't stepped on the podium, or he hasn't stepped on the top step in quite a long time. And if he holds it together through the final corner of the race, he chanced it, and against all odds, he has come out on top here today. It's Fowler taking the victory here in Monza for the season finale of Tier 2. Mano comes across the line, P2, and it'll be mine actually, P2, because of the penalties for Mano. But Mano's on the podium. Jeansy's P4 ahead of Sir with Faisal Harwood. Jack finishes P6, and we've got to see where Paulinski finishes to see where Jack finishes. So Jack, he finishes 6th there as a crash across the line. That's Kowalski there. I didn't see that. Sorry. But that's an insane finish to the championship. Chancing it out in front and taking your moment. Well done to the driver who won the race, Fowler. That was quite spectacular. I must say, from him in the Ferrari. That is a sensational victory. And he is back on top. Here in the last race of the year, he took his chance in the last ask. He took his attempt. Well, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I'm just lost for words. That was insane. I thought they were going to have to pit because they would have been trampled over by Martin, who eventually finishes P2. So Mano P3. Mano's going to be happy with P3. I think Mano will be very happy with P3. But Martin P2, as we wait for the final two cars across the line, Luigi and Dickens coming around the final set of corners there. And that is going to be it for the championship. Aiden Fowler is a winner in F1. Wow. But he's back on the top step. It's a return to the top for Fowler, and it's a return to the top for Mano as well. Martin is the driver of the day, and rightly so, because he started from the back and finished P2. And after a hectic time, it is, well, that's one way to end the championship, because that was quite something. It was something spectacular as they make their way out. There he is, the man of the moment, Aiden Fowler, coming out, taking victory in the last attempt of asking this season. Ferrari are back on the top step of the podium. Fowler is back on the top step. As the trophies are handed out, he has a massive smile, an ear-to-ear smile on his face. Ferrari have an ear-to-ear smile because they're back. And as the bubbly stuff is sprayed here in Monza in front of the Tifosi, it's Ferrari and Fowler who chanced it in the end, and they have taken victory in the last attempt of asking. Martin is P2, Mano is P3. What an incredible race that was to finish off this insane Tier 2 championship. But don't fret, because we will be back. I don't know when, but we'll be back with new faces, drivers moving about, and that will be a lot of change come the next time round we see you. Well, I actually don't know when we're going to see you next or where we're going to see you next. But all we know is Tier 2 is not done yet. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.